Using this simple brand voice skill that I created, I was able to repurpose this one piece of content here on the left into multiple pieces of content here on the right. This is a tool that I created, and I can show you how to use this tool. I will link it in the description, and I will also show you how to do the same thing on Claude Cowork. Really quickly, I just wanted to show you how you would be able to install these skills. There's actually a skill called the skill creator skill that lets you create whatever skill you want, which is how I created the brand voice skill. So this is Anthropic's GitHub repo of all their skills. I'll leave a link in the description. So what you would do is you would come here to code, download this with zip, and you would wait for it to download. It's only about 3.5 megabytes. Then you go back to your Claude Cowork here. You come over here on the left side and click customize. And then you would click skills up here at the top left. And as you can see, I've already got a whole bunch of skills here. So the way you would do this is you would click the plus sign here, go to create skill, and then you would hit upload a skill. And then you would just drag it and drop it in here. And then it would create it for you. You would click save and save the skill. So the way you would actually save the skill that you create using, and I'll show you right here, I have these personal skills. Here's the skill creator skill here on the left. After you create whatever skill you want to create with the skill creator skill, you could save it just by clicking save skill. See if I could find it over here. Go back on the left side in one of my older. So brand voice skill. So as you can see here, you would click save skill, and this is how I save mine. And it actually says right here, your brand voice skill is ready. Install it via settings, capabilities, install a skill, which is one way, or you could just hit save skill. And then what you would do is you would go over to new task, and then you would find it by typing in the name, brand voice. And that's how you would actually activate it. Make sure it's here like this. Then you hit shift and enter, and then you would just type in your prompt from here to figure out whatever content you wanted to create. By the way, this is the whole process that I went through. So what I'm going to do for demonstration's sake, and just to be transparent really quickly, I will copy all of this and paste it into a file for you guys, and I'll upload it and leave the link. This is an agent that I built actually. You can do it this way as like a project. It's basically just a project. So it creates skills for you. As you can see, like I showed you before, you can do it different ways. Like you can just create whatever skill you want using the skill creator skill, or you can create a project as well and create an agent that's called, like this one here, I called it Claude Skill Creator Agent, and it's already set up. So you don't have to constantly go through, invoking the skill, because this is similar, because it also uses a skill that when you create a project. So what I'll do is I'll take the info from this and I'll upload it in case you wanted to create your own project and call it something similar, like, skill creator agent or whatever. So what I'll do is I'll go to new task, and first I'll invoke the caveman ultra skill just to save on some tokens. And then I'm going to go ahead and type in the skill creator, and then I'll invoke that one. So what I'll do is I'll paste in that same prompt here. Just give me 1 sec to go back in and grab it. Brand voice skill. So I'll just copy this part of it here. So what it does, and real quickly, just to show you what it does, is it asks you questions and you just paste in the answers, and that's how it creates a skill. So what it'll do is it'll pop up with this. Let me move my head over here. It'll pop up with this evaluator. So it'll put the prompts in, or sorry, it'll put in the outputs, and it asks you to evaluate this. Like, what do you think of this? Is this how your voice sounds? And then you could put in whatever you wanted here. You could put in like good, this is great. You just read through them all really quickly. You would keep going all the way through, and then you would submit it. And once you submit, then it goes ahead and creates a skill. And as you can see right here, this is how I created my brand voice skill, and then I just saved it. So what I'll do is go back into Caveman Ultra, which is actually you can by the way, you can rename whatever these sessions, you can just rename them. So I'll just type it, I'll put in skill creation demo, just for argument's sake here. And it even asks you what skill build, new or improve existing. The reason it talks like this is because it's in the Caveman Ultra, which, you know, it does that to save tokens. So I'll paste in the prompt. And let's see if I got the prompt here right. No, it's only part of it. So as you can see here, I pasted it in. And what I put in here was create a brand voice skill that I can use on future content. I always like to leave a space here and then a space here. Ask me the following questions. So like I was showing you earlier, it'll ask you these questions and then you would just answer them one by one, and then it'll do the evaluation at the end, and then it'll create you the skill itself. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and type in the Caveman Ultra again. And then after that, I will put in brand voice, because the brand voice is what I call mine. And I'll create this content here just off the top of my head. I'll put in, give me 3 YouTube video ideas on staying productive on the weekends. Productive on the weekend. And then this is going to give me what it comes up with. And what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to come up with 3 ideas here, and it's all going to be in my own brand voice. So what I'll do after this is I'll show you the different ways that you can repurpose this. You can repurpose this. I'll show you with the tool that I built, and then I'll also show you through Claude Cowork, or you can also even do it with chat if you want. So the first thing I'm going to show you is just repurposing this piece of content right here. So what I'll do is I'll copy it, and I'm going to go ahead and, by the way, these tools will be linked. These are on my GitHub. I'll link them as well. So once you go into it, you would click Content Repurposer. And by the way, this is a bit different from the other way I'm going to show. The other way is going to be through, it would be through your actual subscription to Claude. This one you have to put in a API key, which I can show you how to do that here in a minute. How you would actually create an API key through Anthropic's console, and then you would just paste it in here. And by the way, this is actually meant for you to download these files and then just run them, you know, locally on your PC, and you can actually use OpenAI or Anthropic, an API key here, and you can choose the model here. I'm going to run it on 4.8, and you can either put the information that you want to paste in. You can paste it here, or you can put it into a document and upload it. And then ideally, it's already going to be in your brand voice, as I just showed from right here. This is supposed to be already in your brand voice. So the purpose of this tool would be just to repurpose it. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and paste it in here. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll grab one of these API keys that I have here, and I'll paste it in. And there's a little X button here to clear it out also. And when also, as you see here, session only, which means once you get out of this, it'll clear it out, even if it's on your desktop, you know, laptop, whatever PC that you want to use, your actual local device. So what I'll do is I'll click on repurpose. I want to repurpose this for a LinkedIn post. And once it generates, I'll generate several of these so you could see just a little bit of the capabilities of this tool that I built. So it's generating a LinkedIn post here. And as you can see, let me hit clear. I'll clear out. That was from before. So it's generating this one here. And now I'll do, and also, by the way, PDF, Word, slides, you can actually export this. So this is the LinkedIn post. I'll do community prompt. Actually, I shouldn't have cleared that out because that was actually the one that I just made. So you kind of get the picture. Community prompt here. I'll click email teaser. And by the way, when you use an API key, this is a lot more expensive because it's the 4.8. You can also use 4.6 or 4.7, even 4.5 to do this. You know, you could just choose the model. Same thing with OpenAI. You could choose these different models. I'm just using this for argument's sake. You know, it's pennies on the dollar. I'll go ahead and also do this one, repurpose it into a Instagram caption. And then after that one, I'll go ahead and show you the Twitter. I'll click on Twitter hook here. So these are collapsible, by the way. And what you would do is you can collapse them, and you know, you can export these like I was just telling you. So if I wanted to hit slides, you'd press slides and then you can choose which one you want, and you can export them. All the slides, you would hit PDF and it would generate a PDF and also a Word document here. So this is a quick way to just repurpose it, and it's already in your brand voice. This is optional here. If you wanted to just paste in like a generic piece of content that you just created that was not in your brand voice, you could do that here as well just to repurpose it. You could choose the tone in the audience if you wanted to. So that was just this simple tool that I created, and what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll show you real quick. This is a prompt library. There's a whole bunch of prompts, different prompts here for the different, like Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, X, and they're collapsible. You can copy it, and then you could use it as a prompt if you wanted to. There's also a web app ideas right here. You can sort it by beginner, intermediate, advanced. It shows you, just gives you an idea of something that you can build a web app for. Just different ideas here. There's 200 of them. There's also ideas for like building SaaSes. So, just a simple sheet that I created. This one is an automation engine. So if you want to know how to automate a task, this can give you up to 50 ideas. And again, you could choose the different models with Claude, and you would paste in your Claude API key here. You would, like right here's an example. I manually copy leads from a contact into a spreadsheet, then email each one individually, then log the response on Airtable. So if you're doing that manually, you would paste that in, and then you would hit generate ideas, and it would give you however many ideas you choose here of the different ways that it could be automated, and it would tell you, the tech stack that you would need to automate whatever task that is. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to do the content repurposer in using just your subscription in Claude Cowork or even Claude Chat if you chose. And by the way, I don't recommend actually pasting it into this live version here, even though it will clear, or you can clear it here. I would recommend coming here and going in and downloading these first, and then just running it on your local device. You would just double click the index.html, and then it would bring up the tools right here, and then you just go to Content Repurposer, and that way it's a little bit more safer. No one will be able to steal your API. Really quickly here, this is my Claude console dashboard. This is actually separate from the actual Claude chat. So the way you would get an API key is first you would have to add funds. I recommend $5 or $10 for testing purposes. It gets you tons and tons of content that you can create, words that you can basically generate, tokens, whatever you want to call it. Unless you put in different amounts, you click other, put in like $10. The way you would create a key is you would click on API keys, and then you click create key, and then you just name it something here. And once you name it, you hit add, and then it will pop up. I'll just do this for the heck of it. I'll go ahead and delete this key after you see this, but what you do is you just copy the key here, and then you would go into the tool that I just showed you, and then you would paste it in right here. So it's pretty simple. What you'll do is, before you even do this, you'll have to create your own account with the Claude console, and you would just go in, and once again, it's just another link that I'll put in the description. So anybody wants to try it on their own, people that haven't done it yet, they can do so. And that's how you would create a API key to use in one of these tools. So just to show you really quickly what you would do to repurpose the content, since it's already in your brand voice, ideally, you would just come in and you would paste in a prompt like this. So I would say you could give it a task also, or not a, sorry. Yeah, you could give it a task. And above that, you would give it a role. And what I'll do is I'll give it a role, and I'll call it an expert content repurposer. The task would be repurpose this content for the following platforms, and I put X, Instagram, community posts. And then down here, what I'll do is I'll put original content, and then I'll go back in and I'll grab what that original content was, and that was how I actually get work done on weekends without ruining them. I'll go ahead and copy it back into the task, and I'll hit paste, and then I will go ahead and send it off, and I will show you what it comes up with. Here's what it came up with. It came up with the X, Instagram, and community post. So you can see right here, it's done it in my own voice, which these look actually pretty good. So just wanted to give you an idea of what this can do if you were to use a skill like this or create a skill, especially something that'll be in your own voice. So it sounds better and it actually sounds like you, and it doesn't sound so generic. Hopefully this gave you an idea of how you can create the skills that you need, at least a brand voice skill like I created. Once again, I'll link everything in the description so you can have access to all this stuff for free. You can do what you want with it, use it however you see fit, and hopefully it helps you out. So with that, I will end this, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.